afternoon. Welcome to BlackJack Sports. My name is Jack Sturkey, alongside your host, Blake Lumberger. It is Friday, October 20th, a little bit after 3 o'clock here on the East Coast here on Friday. So it's Friday. It's about to be another weekend of college football. We got a lot to talk about. Let's get right to it, Blake. So the first matchup I want to first talk about is Notre Dame versus USC in South Bend. Blake, what do you think about this matchup against USC winning at the Rose Bowl in the Los Angeles Coliseum last week against Utah? How did you think that game turned out? And second of all, Blake, I'm sure you're doing fine over there in Charleston. And tell me how it is over there for college football, and tell me about this matchup for USC going into South Bend this Saturday.
Jack, quick question. Did USC lose last week against the Utes?
Good question. I didn't watch the game, and no, they did not lose.
They did not lose. Okay. Well, I feel like USC has squeaked through and squeaked by week after week. Come from behind wins, beating teams barely they should have killed. Notre Dame may be that team this week that finally knocks them off their pedestal. I think USC is good. I think they have a good quarterback. I don't think they're as good as some people think they are. I don't think they're... If this guy's the number one quarterback coming out of the draft next year, why are they barely beating teams week in and week out? I think that Notre Dame might be the team to knock them off. We will see. Speaking of Charleston, South Carolina, Jack, we have a big game this weekend at home. Second conference game. We won our first one, and then next week is homecoming. We'll see how we do this weekend in Buck Stadium Saturday at 6 in kickoff.
Looking forward to that, Blake. It's going to be fun to watch, and no matter what happens, we can always hope for the best. No matter what they do,
go Bucks.
Come Saturday, it's going to be a blast.
Go Bucks. Jackson Gerke, talk to me about Major League Baseball. Boy, oh boy, the Indians are already out. We know they're not going to the World Series. And last night, the Cubs took an absolute beatdown. What the heck happened, man?
Oh, I'll tell you what happened. Kershaw pitched last night, and how they won was they got a bunch of bats at the plate, and they scored so many runs. It looked like that they were playing very well entering in that game last night. They hit a grand slam by one of the players in, I think it was the first inning. And to me, this Dodgers team came to play at Wrigley Field.
Boy.
Took them down.
Boy.
They're headed to the World Series.
Did they come to play? What a beatdown. A guy goes out there and has, 3 home runs in one game?
That's what I said. And it looked like that the Dodgers, they had some good chances, and what the Dodgers did was something special. It's unbelievable, and the Dodgers came to play. The Cubs thought they had it, but it wasn't even close. Because listen, I was watching the game, tracking the game on my phone, and it was 7-0. I think it was in the 5th inning. But then when I realized at around 11 o'clock last night, I checked my phone, and I checked the score, and it was 11-1 Dodgers. And what I did was I had to go to my room, turn on the TV, and check the score, and watch the game, and track it. And next thing you know, the Dodgers had somebody on base, and in the last few outs of the game, it looked like they had a hit, and the Cubs had a hit at the last at bat for I think it was for one of their last outs. The Dodgers got him out, and then they made the catch, and then they're headed to the World Series. That's what happened last night, and that's how the Dodgers got to the World Series, and that's how the Dodgers got it done last night.
Jack, let me ask you this question. Point blank, is the World Series matchup going to be East Coast, West Coast, L.A. versus New York Yankees? Is that going to happen?
Well, I like what you're thinking there, Blake, because I've seen that matchup before, probably in decades since the last time it happened. You have to go back to 1973 where it's happened. But it was the Brooklyn Twin Dodgers back in the day.
Oh,
And
let's go, Jack.
you can tell
Woo.
of what it's like, because what you're about to see is if that's the matchup that everybody wants to see in America right now, then that should be the matchup that everyone should have their eyes on. But it's going to be tough because the Astros are playing well at home. I think the Astros are probably most likely going to win that game, but the Yankees might have a chance to win if they somehow find a way to win in their next game or so. But I like the Astros in this one right now.
Wow. So you think we might be going to a Game 7 then?
That's what that's what I'm saying, because every home game, every home team has won every home game in the series. That's what that's what it really comes down to when it comes to those series scenarios for those kind of matchups.
I like that perspective, Jack. If they go to a Game 7, will the Game 7 be in Houston or back in New York?
We think it might be back in New York, up in the Bronx. So
I think so too.
That's what I think it might be. That's where I think the game might be headed to. So
boy, would that be electric?
It would be in the electric and crazy and wild environment up there. It's going to be something special if that game goes all the way to Game 7.
You be the judge, and Aaron Judge may be the judge of this as well. We'll see what happens. Jack, give me a fantasy football update. You did take your first loss last week, I believe, or 2 weeks ago. How did you do last weekend?
Not bad. I still actually survived, and
all right.
I played well last week against my brother, I think. So far so good for me. And this week I'll be facing my dad.
Man.
So far, last night I've caught a couple of touchdowns from one of my players.
Oh, did you? Who did you have?
Good against my dad right now.
Who did you have in the game last night?
Well, Kansas City was playing last night. I think I had one of their players, and they scored a couple
right.
touchdowns, and they almost get a first down yards last night. So that's what I think this game came down to last night as I was watching it.
Speaking of Thursday Night Football, how about that game last night?
I mean, how bad? It was a crazy finish.
Yes.
It looked like the Raiders came to rally in the last play of the game, and that's how they scored that touchdown. But you look at the last play of the game, they actually, what turns out...
Were there too many calls?
Well, first of all,
too many flags or not?
They actually, what they did was they tried to go for a touchdown, but I think they reviewed it, and there was been too many, and there was a flag down the play, I think it was, and something like that. But I mean, how they got the touchdown was it was on the Kansas City defense, and we're not used to seeing of Andy Reid and Kansas City Chiefs on the road beating the Raiders. I mean, it's something new that you haven't seen before. I mean,
but about the game,
yeah, it was just the absolute, just
what a barn burner.
What I would say, finish of the game.
Yeah, what a barn burner. Hey, Jack, let's talk about Marshawn Lynch for a second. What the heck? Come on, man. What was going on with that?
I mean, it's just not right. I mean, for any football game, really, it's just not right. I mean, whatever he did was wrong. It's a rivalry game, and that happens all the time. And if that ever happens in a football game, you would be probably tossed out of the game if anything like that happens. Now, if you were doing that to an official for any level of football, then you're probably going to be thrown out and probably taken to somebody to the locker room in that situation. So,
Jack,
this is the part of the game you have to be careful, and you can't do that, and that would not be top-rated.
Jack, he gets thrown out, goes to the locker room, changes, and there's speculation that he may have went into the fans and sat down as a fan and watched the rest of the game with the fans. What is your inside knowledge of this, and what do you think about that? Is that cool or not cool?
I mean, I think it's crazy. I think it's a little too much for a football player being involved with fans of Raider Nation and all the fans of supporting them. I mean, what if
you were in Raider Nation, you're at the game in seat E22, the second half starts, and this guy that looks like a running back for the Oakland Raiders comes and sits down beside of you? What would you think about that? It'd be pretty crazy, wouldn't it?
It would. I mean, I just think it would be a little too much if I were to be involved with that. I mean, if I was part of it, I think it would be a little too much and a little rowdiness of all the fans surrounding it. Because those fans over there are crazy, and I think they can, and I think they're They're probably one of the loudest fans of all football, and those fans can go loud and crazy if I was involved surrounding with them.
No doubt about it, Jack. Listen, we're at our 10-minute mark this Friday. It's been great talking to you. Last thoughts on what we're going to see this weekend. Anything?
So for college football wise, keep an eye on, like I said, Notre Dame and USC. If USC can find a way to win on the road for the first time since 2005, and the other game they have to keep an eye on is Michigan on the road.
Yes.
Going into a hostile environment in Penn State.
I'm going to tell you what, Jack.
And that's going to be a challenging game for Michigan on the road if Jim Harbaugh can find a way to win on the road since Ohio State failed to do so last season.
Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this prediction?
I am ready for this. What you're going to see is...
what do you think I'm going to say about this prediction?
Well, I'm going to tell you this is
come on.
Last season, from what you saw in that game last year, in that same hostile environment, is Ohio State had tried to find a way to win in its game plan.
Right.
They failed to do so.
Right.
And what happens is when you're going to a tough environment like that, their fans are always loud and crazy.
Right.
Especially if you're trying to throw the football very well. The defense always comes up with a good play whenever you're going into games like this, and the fans that are always loud can really lead you to less communication if your football team is trying to find a way to score on the road, and that's what it comes down to in a game like this.
Jack, you know where my prediction is going to go on this. I think Harbaugh is getting a little bit of flack for his huge salary. He, believe it or not, he makes more than you and I combined for doing this radio show. He's getting a lot of flack. He's lost a couple of key games. Michigan State beats him. He needs a big win. What better win than to go to Penn State, beat those Nittany Lions, and knock the Heisman, the front runner for the Heisman candidate, off his horse? I think Michigan and Harbaugh finds a way to win this game with their Jumpman Air Jordan uniforms. That's my prediction. Call me crazy.
Yeah, I think you are a little bit with your prediction, but I'll take it anyway.
Okay. All right, Jack. Hey, great talking to you. It's been a pleasure. We'll talk soon. Have a great weekend, Jack, down in beautiful Tampa, Florida.
You got it, Blake. Take care.
See you, Jack.
Have a good weekend.
You too, brother.